Like, we can lean on the word all day. You know, we know what forgiveness means. We know what it frees you up. Forgiveness is like taking what's yours and letting the rest be, right? Because you didn't make that person do that. But you understand human nature, and you understand people's choices, but that had nothing to do with you. So by you forgiving, you're allowing what is to be.
We got my girl Aliya in the building. What's up?
What's going on? What's going on?
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
How you been?
I'm good. I'm so good. Like, I'm real good.
That's
Real good. How are you?
I'm good. You know, taking life one day at a time, one step at a time.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm happy to see that. God bless you and everything that you're doing.
So what's life been like for you?
Wow, we got straight into it. John don't play over here at JTL Management, baby. He gonna get you to the point. Dang, you know what I'm saying? It's been great. A lot of new things has happened. I'm newly divorced now.
Oh wow!
And so I'm having to relearn, my life and really grow from that experience.
Okay.
So that's really good and dope. I'm a much stronger person now. So life is really good. Life is really good. I don't want to give it too much, but life is good. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. But many people don't know, we go way back through a mutual friend. I got the chance to experience you. Not too many experiences, but a few. And I seen you around. And I also be seeing what you be doing on your Facebook. And it's something I was somewhat interested. So let's just talk about that. What in particular do you title what you necessarily do?
So I'm an intuitive reader.
Okay. All right.
So it's the same thing. Like, okay, so let's get into the beginning. When we met each other, it was through Euclid Gray. Shout out to Euclid, his whole project and everything that he's doing over there.
Shout out Euclid.
Yes, shout out to Euclid. But we met at your church, which was what's the name of the church?
At the time, it was called PhD.
PhD. Okay, so we met at PhD at the time. And that whole cycle for me was so important. I liked about that church, it was very, with the speaking of the tongues and then the prophetic gift that was flowing through that place. And I believe that's why I was brought there, because my prophetic gift had began shortly thereafter attending that church, where I started to hear and see things. And not only that, be able to speak in tongues and hear and understand in the spirit, right, what that means. So an intuitive reader, like I tell people with the tarot cards, I was a reader before the tarot cards. I was intuitive. I had a prophetic gift, and since 2016, I had a prophetic gift. So pretty much with the cards, all it is I'm able to see deeper into a situation through my gift. You know what I mean? But that's how I would describe it. I'm an intuitive reader. I can use the cards. I could just face to face talk to you, and God will flow the way God needs to flow. Okay. Yeah.
So it get better. It get better over time with you, or is it something? Let's say, for instance, you're still in the learning process of it. So what is it? Is it a gift being a tarot reader, or is it something you learn?
Oh, so it's definitely a gift. It's definitely a calling. To have any type of calling to serve the people of God, the collective, it has to come from a pure place. There are some people now who are learning it because they're so interesting, but I always say, if you're called to something, God draws you to things. You don't just all of a sudden say, I want to learn how to do this. Something in your soul is craving that experience or needing that knowledge. Right. So even with the call, yes, it is a calling. It's a gift. For me, it's definitely a gift, because before I even had a card in my hand and honestly, I would have never thought that I would be doing this. I didn't think it was going to be me, and It took a lot of bravery for me to step into this person that I am, and I love it here. Okay, shout out to all the ones who are in tune with who you are, and you just absolutely love it here. Yeah, out of everything, because like I said before I picked up the card, I knew I was hearing things about people, and I was already helping people that way. I already had a ministry, you know, since 2016. I had a ministry before the cards. So my ministry was in 2020 when I started hearing the cards shuffling in my head. I knew that it had gotten better, because you asked, does it get better? And I think there's levels to your gift. You know what I mean? And it just
definitely, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, because at first it was just prophetic, and then last year, matter of fact, on January 1st, I was hearing shuffling in my head. Now, I had always watched tarot readings. I've always been a fan of the occult, but I never in a million years thought I would be the one to do it. So it wasn't nothing I was even looking for. It's just something that I was naturally drawn to, because just like with the prophetic gift, when we were in that situation in the church building, you know, somebody could walk up on you and just tell you something about you, you know, and it gives you hope. You know, it speaks into your situation, and it makes you feel that God is with you, and that surely the things that I'm going through, God sees, He's present, you know, and that's the special part of the gift, you know what I mean? And the cards called me, and I had to say yes, just like I said yes before. So yeah.
So what's interesting to me, I used to see a lot of card readers, tarot readers, and I used to think, I ain't gonna lie, I used to think, oh Lord, cause I was trained to think, oh, that's not a God, that's the devil, So what could you tell people to encourage them to believe what you're saying is 100% authentic and real?
Okay, so I just want to encourage people to think out of the box. I also want to remind people that God is in everything and all things. And how people use their gift is how people use their gift. But I know who I am. I'm of light. As far as the Christianity versus spirituality, again, I just encourage people to have an open mind and do their research before believing what someone has told you, and also examine the reasons why they have told you that.
Right.
In my spirituality, while I come from Christianity, I love my beginnings in Christianity. It taught me discipline. It taught me that there was more than me. You know, that I was protected and cared for in my life. And it gave me a substance to hold me through things. So the word is real. You know, it is the life. It is the living word. God is the living word. You know, so I do believe in the scriptures in the Bible. But, you know, I also love my beginnings. I'm not going to even say humble, because they were big beginnings in Christianity. But I appreciate them. But I also realize that in spirituality, I'm a lot more free in who I am and what happens in my life. I take more control. I take more responsibility for who I am and what I produce. I know that God is in me, that I am God incarnate, okay? That, you know, I am a living example of that. I'm just a piece of the bigger fragmented picture, you know? And as a vessel, I'm here to serve. And God uses all things to reach His people. It's not just one way. There's a lot about the spirituality path that have been concealed from us, because truly, if we were in tune with ourselves that way, there wouldn't be any borders on our lives or what we can become, which means that there would be no rulers and no dictators and no, because the Bible says, you know, God is a jealous God. You can't serve more than one, but we do every day. We push ourselves down for the things outside of ourselves, like go to work and how we work and where we work and who we are, you know, even our whole existence.
So I said something, that's good to hear. I said something on my last episode. I forgave someone who I never met. So what is your take on forgiving someone you never met?
I think it's beautiful. You know, like, again, like, we can lean on the word all day. You know, we know what forgiveness means. We know what it frees you up. Forgiveness is like taking what's yours and letting the rest be, right? Because you didn't make that person do that. But you understand human nature and you understand people's choices, but that had nothing to do with you. So by you forgiving, you're allowing what is to be. You know, it's bigger than whatever it is. You know, so forgiveness is really a big part of healing. And because you did that, you just open yourself up to a new experience. You're not going to repeat the loop, because when you don't forgive, what happens is you hoard that and you start to, it's like the tree, it's a root, and you start to exhibit little personality things or distrust issues and things like that from this thing that hasn't been healed, that you haven't forgiven.
Right.
You haven't understood. You haven't put yourself outside of yourself to say, look, bigger picture, what could God have been doing through this situation? What could I have learned? What was I supposed to learn? How did I get here? And sometimes it's not just about you, it's about the other person too. And why was I used for that person in that way? So it's a bigger thing, but forgiveness is key. And you have opened up yourself to start a new cycle by letting that go, by not choosing to harbor on that. Right. You freed up space, so now that you've learned from that, you can take the wisdom of that and create a new thing and do a new thing. You understand?
That's good. Yeah. That's good. So on one hand, forgiving someone you never met could be hard to do, but what also could be hard, well, not hard, but easy to do. Why do you think it's so hard but easy for people to forgive?
Listen, I think it's about the level of readiness and maturity that you have. Whether I know you or not, we're all worthy of forgiveness. Forgiveness is an essential part of being healthy, because it allows for things to be free-flowing. It doesn't allow for something to block you. The minute we don't forgive, it causes all kinds of blockages.
Right.
So whether I know you or not, or how easily, it just depends on how willing I am to heal, how knowing I am that this is an amazing opportunity for growth and for love to flow abundantly. Because that's what God is about. God is about love and light. And how freely I do that determines a lot about my circumstance and my situations in my life. Right. How is my shit flowing?
Right.
And the reason why some people can do it easily is because they're mature.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a damn good take on. That's a damn good take on that. So, do you have when you being that you're a tarot reader, how often do you go live and what is your approach on helping people hear your voice, and why should they actually listen?
Well, this is the thing, right? If you were guided to me and you were led to come to my live, which I do go live on Facebook.
Yeah, I've been watching.
I see you tuning in. I appreciate the love too. If you were brought to my live, then there's a message for you. What I like to tell my viewers and all of the people that I meet in life, because my life is the assignment. You get that? My life is the assignment. How I live my life, how I show up as me is the work. And what I like to tell people is that there's magic happening, blessings happening, abundance happening all around us. God is constantly showing you and conspiring to bring you the thing that you are absolute destined to be. Always working in your favor. That's why we know the words is all things work together. There's so many different scriptures that say that same thing. So it's like at all times, God is working it out for us, you know, and that comes in signs, synchronicities. Some people see numbers all the time and never look them up. But there's a reason, because this is how the spiritual world contacts us. This is how they communicate, through signs and synchronicities, through animals, through the trees, you know, just being able to go out in nature. If you're having a bad day, this is an advice for people, please take this. But if you're having a bad day, go out into nature and look at those trees. They're a reminder that you're always supported. they stand grounded. No matter what's going on, they remind you to stand grounded and be grounded. So we're always having synchronicity. So if you were brought to my life, you would know that that message is for you. I'm not here to convince nobody to like me or do anything. Those who it's for will know. They will know. When I start talking about your life, and you're like, damn, how does she know that? And you want to get information, just like when the doors of the church are open, and you heard something beautiful that whole service, but you don't get up and you don't walk down the aisle, then that's your missed opportunity. You understand? So if you've heard something in my reading and you said, man, that was for me, you didn't contact me and say, hey, Aliya, I want to get more info on that, or I want to go deeper into that. You heard what you heard. I'm not here to convince anybody to do anything. I'm just here to remind people that magic is existent, because I am that. I am a magical being. I am full of power. The things that I say hold weight. The things that I believe in come to life. You know? And I'm an intentional being. I love to direct my energy in the way it should go, and I think we should all do that. You know what I mean?
I'm very big on energy, and I definitely believe that we as a race, we must do better on good energy, because there's a lot of damaged people out here, and I feel like going back to forgiveness, that's a big part why we're damaged, because we haven't forgave. You see what I'm saying? But I definitely agree with when you said the whole part about people when they forgive for them and forgive for the other person sometimes, which can be hard sometimes, because you're like, but little do people know, when you forgive, you're setting yourself free. You see what I'm saying? You're not holding yourself captive.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I could have been in a whole depression, and for all the way up, got shot last year, I can still be in the depression phase. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes we can be in depression and not know we in a depression.
Yes, let's talk about that. So how did you know that you were in a depression, and how were you able to kick that?
So when I found out I was in a depression, when I was angry, I was overeating, I didn't want to be around nobody. I fought myself to even want to come out the room, and I was glued to the chair. Netflix. I was overeating. It was a very, very miserable place, and I'm one, I can identify when I'm miserable. I don't want to bring you around me, and I know I'm miserable. That's gonna make you miserable. You see what I'm saying? So I try my best not to mess up nobody's energy with my negative energy. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I identify my depression. It takes a lot of mental strength to come out of it, though, I will say, but you can definitely come out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can definitely come out of it.
Absolutely. And that's some of the things that I give to my viewers, because you asked me why should they believe me, or what are some of the things that I do to give the guidance, right? And so, you know, I basically, the readings are, and this is another thing I want to clear up for the public. You know, they think it's like this unchangeable fate that the cards are predicting. And truly, the story of tarot is just the story about the Fool, which is the unknowing soul that is excited about a new journey, which is life, this path. Not knowing all that's going on. It's us when we were born. It's us throughout our stages in life. It's us doing something new. It's us learning how to operate in the world around us. We've been playing the game of Fool since we were in elementary school.
It's a lot of tradition we got still built up. Yeah. I remember when I used to be told God is coming back. I remember that when I was like 6. Yeah. And I'm 32 now. I'm like, what God?
It's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
But see,
that's what you learn.
This is what we've been doing. So we've been actually living the story of the tarot out. The different people in our families, the mother, the father, all of these are archetypes of the tarot. And what I'm doing is pretty much I am tapping into my higher being, which is the God energy, source energy in all of us. the all-knowing energy that's in us. That's a soul frequency. And your soul frequency is communicating with mine. And it's going to give me the information that you haven't been paying attention to yourself to hear, because yourself has already tried to tell you the same stuff I'm about to tell you. But humans need confirmation. And it's not a magic fucking show, let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? This is really your soul communicating with you through me. My soul communicating with each other, and then I give you the information. But I speak to the heart of a situation, and I give people back to themselves, because a lot of time the work is for you to do. It's not as simple. People come to me all the time, they think, oh, she's gonna read my cards and everything's gonna disappear. No, the work begins. The minute we know what our problem is, the minute we find out what our struggle is, the work freaking begins. And you've got to deal with you, because it's about you, always about you. People come and they want to get other people, information on other people. I don't do that. I don't give information. That's their privacy.
So would you say what you do falls under the third eye?
First eye, yes.
The first eye.
Yeah, it's intuition. Well, they say third, but really we know that it's your first line of defense and seeing into situations. So it's the all being. It's beyond just a part.
You know the first eye or the third eye, how people ever want to say it. Most of those people don't go to church.
Well, I'm gonna say this: most of those people went to church. Most of them people started in church, and whatever their journey was, it led them to want to know more, and learn outside of the restriction, because there is a level of restriction in churches. There's a big level of restriction in church, and it keeps you praying outside of yourself. That's why I say prayer versus meditation. For me, it's a difference. Churches keep you believing in the all-powerful outside of you, which also leads you astray, because then when you need to rely on yourself, because yourself has the key. Your soul is the one. We're just in a vessel. We're like avatars. But the real one, the real machine is inside. So when you've been taught to look outside your whole life, you don't know how to, when your body is giving you cues, it starts like that, and then it starts with your family members. You start to trust in things that other people say versus what you know, because this is not our first time doing this. We've been here before.
Definitely agree.
You know what I'm saying? And we get our information all around us. That's why being vegan, and for me, eating clean is important, because I've had to relearn that my food is giving my cells information. And we're attuned to God that way. But what happens is, in church, is that you're taught to praise God outside of you, or look up to the sky, look up to the heavens, versus going inside of you and saying, Abba Father, Abba Mother, what is it that we know? What is it that you want me to know? What do you want me to do? So that I can make the best decision, not only for myself, but for the highest good of all people involved. Because if I can tap into me, I'm not going to be lost in this world. And that's what it means to me when that scripture says, I'm in this world, but not of this world.
That's good. Yeah. That's real good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
So, but again, spirituality is I think it's the journey of knowing thyself in such a profound way that you still give glory and honor to God, to the Most High.
So talking about spirituality.
Yeah.
Do you believe in good spirits and bad spirits?
There's always a negative and there's always a positive.
Just label them.
There's negative archetypes and there's positive. There's both sides. We all are made of negative and positive. We all are made of dark and light.
Right.
So do I believe in that? Yes.
Okay, so do it falls under, bad spirit and good spirit falls under the decision making, or would you say it's a spiritual thing?
Because sometimes, a lot of times, we're not even aware of how we're being used by said spirits, or said energy, or said vibration, or said whatever, We're just acting out. But I'm knowing, because I am knowing, I'm all knowing, right? Because God is all knowing. Inside me. Anything I need to know, I can go inside, I can find out right away. I don't have to wait months and months for discovery. The shit is in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm attached to fucking the galaxies, to the stars, to the moon, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the power of I am. That's the beautiful thing. And that's what these celebrities have. The power of I am. That's why they rich off that shit. Because they so believe in themselves. So it takes a special kind of break out of that. What was the question? I'm sorry. I went off.
I was so into what you were saying. I was like, oh, okay.
No.
The question was, do it falls under
good spirits or bad spirits?
Falls under decision making.
So this is the thing. A lot of times we don't even know we're being used by these energies. Okay. Yes. You want to be a knowing vessel, and be aware of your energy. But good spirits and bad spirits, all of that shit is real. Bad spirits, all of it has a place. I don't even like the way that feels. All of it has its place. God uses all of it, all of the negative decisions, all of the bad things that happen. God uses that energy to produce the thing that He's doing in you. Because God won't stop at nothing. This is the thing about people that go to church, faithfully. Because I was that. I was there.
Yeah.
No real talk.
Yeah.
No real talk. And I love that time, by the way. I love that time for myself. But it's all of this talk about how good God is. And how God won't stop until the thing is done. Anything I started will be completed. Anything I call for will have provision. All of these beautiful promises. But we are so closed-minded to how we think God is going to do these things. And nothing is too big for God. And nothing. God will stop at nothing to see His will be done. And this is why I want to talk to the people who have been hurt. Because think those people. I was watching a Lego movie. Shout out to the cartoons and shout out to the fake reality that we live in, because they have to drop jewels right in front of us in order for that's the law. They have to reveal to us what they're doing. They can't energetically or spiritually attack us without us knowing. But they put this stuff on TV. We think it's entertainment. In actuality, they're giving us nuggets of our own shit, our own history. But I was watching the Lego movie. It's a cartoon, Lego Batman, and at the end, they was on the burning bridge. It was the Joker and it was Batman. And the Batman, remember in that movie, he had gone through all of these tests and these lessons where he was cold, he was selfish, and all these things. He had to heal from those things in that movie, if you remember. Remember, he disowned his friends and he shitted on his friends and his friends was mad. And then he had to go they casted him out into this other dimension. And in the other dimension is where he was judged for whether his sins, pretty much at the end. And he had to look over his life. That's my aunt. That's my aunt. Weighing out your life at the end. So, that's the judgment card. That's when all your shit come back up to the surface. So you can see what you've done and why your next thing is going to be based on the seeds that you've sown. So anyway, long story shorter, Batman did all of this and he finally had a realization that changed his heart. And it made him realize that I have been selfish. I do have areas in my life I need to work on, I need to release. His mother and father left at a young age, so he was alone. He had to heal that in order for him to go into his next cycle. But what beautiful thing happened in this fight with him and Joker? Joker said to him, I'll give you all honor and praise and respect. It's because of you, Batman, that I am who I am. Because who would the Joker be without Batman? And who would Batman be without Joker? I'm telling somebody right now that pressure makes diamonds. It's a lot of beautiful shit that happens when grapes are squished down. There's a lot of shit that happens when gold is melted down. What I'm saying to you is thank God for the pot. Thank God for the foot. Thank God for the, that push you down, because it makes you grow such a beautiful part of yourself. And it pushes you to be all that you are called to be. And when he said that, I was so moved. I was like, yo, that's beautiful. Because if it wasn't for my family not believing in me, I would not have been going hard like this. I would have constantly been stuck in a loop of looking outside of myself for approval and not believing in my dreams, because as long as I was listening to them, that's what I was doing. See, I was afraid to be seen. I was afraid to step out there because they had so many limits on my shit. But had they not slept on me like that and turned their back on me when I needed the most, it wouldn't have taught me how to be independent. It wouldn't have taught me how to be strong. It wouldn't have made me shine like this. And when I got to where I was going, I could look back at everything I gained in that process, and I can beam with pride, knowing that every chip was stacked up against me, but I persevered. But thank those people. I pray every day for my enemies that they have food, water, and abundance. And health, because they did a fucked up job. Listen, when we all came here from the 5D dimensional world, the galaxies, the stars, the ethers, wherever motherfuckers think we just came from, you know what I'm saying? But our spirit and our soul was attached to the 5D. When we were in the 5D, we were given an assignment, right? Yeah. Because when we left there, it was like, it's called the shield of forgetfulness. It's like your soul knew the plan when it was in the ethers, and then when it came here, we dropped to our human vessels, into the flesh, and the brain overtakes the body, and you think, wow, what am I doing here? But you had a whole plan. So a part of that plan is for us to trigger each other, to trigger you back to who you really are. So it's for us to be negative and positive in people's lives. I'm both karma and a blessing to some people. You talk to some people, they say I was the karma for them. You talk to other people, they'll say, yo, she was a blessing for me. But I'm only showing up as I should show up in that moment. Listen, it's like the kids be playing with the cars. We're the little cars. God is doing the work, And so evil and positive spirits, listen, we're all called to be both light and darkness. And the minute we could get in tune with that, stop this human bullshit, thinking that niggas are supposed to be all positive. Yo, that shit is not how it works. There's both a light and a dark for a reason, a positive and a negative. We have both masculine and feminine energy. The masculine energy is represented by how we take action. The feminine energy is how we nurture. I mean, we have to know how to balance these things. But do I want to sit here and pinpoint it as if it's just spirituality represents bad, evil, and good spirits? It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that.
Well, again, I want to thank you for coming on. And this was very, very informative and powerful. You are a powerful individual. And I want to thank you again. And I want to leave my viewers with this. In order to solve the problem, you must first identify the root of your problem. This your boy Jay, and we signing out. Love.